grabbed a hold of the guy that was really starting the conflict, and I told him, man, this ain't the place to be doing this.
The Franklin County Sheriff's Office is investigating a shooting in a gas station parking lot. Now, thankfully, no one was hurt, and investigators say that is thanks to the actions of one of the clerks.
What is going on is a disgrace beyond belief.
People should be held accountable wherever that leads.
Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders tackled many issues at tonight's Democratic debate in Flint, Michigan, including the city's water crisis.
A water crisis has been going on for months now in Flint, Michigan, but a local church group hopes they can help relieve some of that burden.
WKYT News starts now with First Alert Weather.
Thanks for staying up with WKYT. I'm Kristen Kennedy. We are tracking some great weather for the work week. We begin tonight with WKYT's Mike Linden and your no-wait weather forecast.
Kristen, you've really got to love it. I mean, it's officially the winter season, but it is going to feel a lot like early spring here in the coming days in the bluegrass. Right now on the Defender Radar Network, we are tracking cloud cover that is pushing its way in from the west, and that is going to limit the temperature drop-off overnight. But as we get into the next few days here, it's going to remain crucial as to where the air is coming from. Right now, you can see that high pressure to the east of Kentucky is dominating the upper air flow coming in from the south. And that, of course, is where the warmest air is, the Gulf of Mexico. And that is the conveyor belt that we will set up here over the next few days, responsible for some really nice temperatures. Right now, most spots in the mid to low 40s, a few spots falling back into the 30s. But regardless, we are well ahead of the curve. And coming up in about 10 or so minutes, I'll break down my full forecast for how warm we'll get this week, what we'll see with that warmth, and whether or not we can call the winter over.
A Franklin County man narrowly escaped shots fired this weekend. The sheriff says two men started fighting inside a BP station off 127 North Friday. The fight spilled into the parking lot. WKYT's Hillary Thornton talked to the clerk inside about the shots fired and about what he did that may have saved the victim's life. She has our top story at 11.
The BP station off of 127 just north of Frankfort is typically a quiet place.
Everything's always been the calm country scene out here in Peaks Mill.
However, that was not the case Friday evening when two men walked into the store arguing,
Pushing, shoving, and contact like that.
Clerk Alex Steigers deciding to step in.
As I came out of behind the counter, he took an open Bud Light bottle that he had carried into the store and slung it at the other male that he was bickering with.
Steigers then remembers, out of concern for the safety of his coworkers and other customers, immediately stepping in between the two men.
Grabbed a hold of the guy that was really starting the conflict. I told him, man, this ain't the place to be doing this. You need to calm down.
Giving the other man enough time to get outside to his vehicle, Steigers thinking the situation was over.
At that moment, a lady came running in saying, hey, he's got a gun, he's got a gun. And then the gunshots went off outside.
Hearing 5 to 6 shots fired at the man taking off in his vehicle, thankfully, no one was hit.
Now knowing what happened out here in the parking lot and that man had a gun, the clerk says he would not change how he reacted.
Without a doubt, I still would have jumped in, for sure.
A decision investigators say after watching the surveillance video kept this situation from being much worse.
He told me that as brave as it was and as stupid as it was, I saved his life. Well, I just view it as doing what any human person should do. It's just the way you should take care of the world.
In Franklin County, Hillary Thornton, WKYT.
Steigers did give detectives a description of the man and a license plate number. He says investigators told him the fight was potentially related to a heroin bust the sheriff's office made the day before. Lexington police say someone fired several shots at a business this evening. Police say there was a card game going on in a back room at Prime Cuts Barber Shop on Legends Lane when two men forced their way through the front door. We're told both sides exchanged gunfire. Police say the people in the back ran out the back door and the two men went out the front door. Police haven't made any arrests. New tonight, a West Virginia boy claims a Kentucky man accused of killing a little girl tried to lure him into a car. Timothy Madden faces charges including rape and murder for the November death of 7-year-old Gabriella Doolin. A state police affidavit says a boy identified Madden as the same man who asked him and one other child to get into his car at a West Virginia gas station back in October. A detective filed the affidavit for a search warrant last month. A Scott County bus driver accused of assaulting a 5-year-old last year has been found not guilty. The News Graphic reports a 6-person jury acquitted 65-year-old Durbin Wallace Friday. He was charged with harassment with physical contact. The jury deliberated for an hour and a half before reaching a verdict. There was another face-off tonight between presidential candidates. The two Democrats running for president debated from Michigan. Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders were in Flint. People living there are still suffering through a major water crisis. Weijia Zhang has the latest from the debate.
Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton debated in Flint, Michigan to address the city's water crisis.
What is going on is a disgrace beyond belief.
The tap water became toxic with lead after officials switched the water supply to cut costs. Investigators revealed state leaders knew about the problem but failed to do anything about it. Both candidates called for Michigan's governor to resign.
People should be held accountable wherever that leads.
The debate came just 2 days before voters head to the polls for Michigan's Democratic primary. The candidates sparred over an issue important to the people here, the 2009 bailout of the auto industry.
I voted to save the auto industry. He voted against the money that ended up saving the auto industry.
If you are talking about the Wall Street bailout, where some of your friends destroyed this economy,
you know,
excuse me, I'm talking.
Clinton holds a major delegate advantage and is leading in the Michigan polls. But Sanders hopes his weekend caucus wins in Maine, Kansas, and Nebraska will change voters' minds. Weijia Zhang, CBS News, Flint, Michigan.
Here in Kentucky, a Lexington group is helping families in Flint. Renita Allen, along with the group Operation Flint, is collecting water this weekend. She plans to take it to Michigan. Many there are still dealing with lead-ridden pipes and are unable to use the water coming into their homes. WKYT's Caitlin Sentner caught up with the group.
I'll tell you when to stop.
Flint is home. Michigan is home for me. My heart is still in the city.
Hundreds are still without water in Flint. A Lexington group is hoping to relieve some of the burden.
We loaded it down, bring it right on over.
Operation Flint is collecting water by the case.
We have 30 cases of water. We brought 30 cases of water.
The church has close ties to Flint, Michigan. In fact, Renita Allen still has family that lives there.
They're hoping for a solution. They're hoping that it is rectified, that life would go back to normal, because it's very abnormal.
Allen isn't living it firsthand, but her grandfather is, and she imagines what it'd be like.
When we, who do not have contaminated water, tap our faucets, it's free-flowing. So put ourselves in their situation to not be able to tap your faucet and receive free-flowing water to bathe or to cook or to provide for your babies. It's different. It hurts. It hurts.
That's why Thursday, a tractor trailer full of water will be driven to Flint. Allen and a few others will arrive Friday, going door to door, handing out what they hope to be thousands of cases of water.
It's our responsibility. We are our brothers and sisters keepers.
We're praying, we care, we love them. It could be us.
In Lexington, Caitlin Sentner, WKYT.
You can drop off water donations at First African Baptist Church on Price Road in Lexington. The group hopes to make monthly water deliveries. Kentucky Republicans had 11 candidates on their caucus ballots, and at the end of the night, Donald Trump won the Kentucky caucus. The state's Republican leaders worried there would be low voter turnout. They say 229,000 Kentuckians voted yesterday. That's more than voted in the 2012 Republican primary. Kentucky's Democratic presidential primary is May 17th. The U.S. is mourning the loss of a former First Lady. Nancy Reagan, the wife of President Ronald Reagan, died this morning at her home in Los Angeles. The 94-year-old died from congestive heart failure. Her best-known project as First Lady was the Just Say No campaign, helping kids and teens stay off drugs. She and Ronald Reagan were married for 52 years before his death in 2004. Several Kentucky leaders have been paying their respects to Mrs. Reagan today. Governor Matt Bevin tweeted, "First Lady Nancy Reagan was a woman of great dignity and class." And Senator Rand Paul tweeted, "Nancy Reagan was an exemplary First Lady and woman. She will be missed. My thoughts and prayers are with her loved ones." To see comments and condolences from others, go to our website, WKYT.com, or go to the WKYT News app. You can download it for free in the app or Google Play stores. Police in eastern Kentucky are looking for a man accused of crashing his car into a yard and running away. Dustin Ramsey says the man crashed into a tree in his neighbor's yard in Pike County. Ramsey told police the man seemed like he was under the influence of drugs or alcohol.
Just for police purposes, we didn't know the guy. And once he took off, he come down this creek right here and walked. And from that point on, we never seen him.
After the crash and asked neighbors for rides into Elkhorn City, state police were not able to find him. State police are investigating a deadly crash in Wolfe County. This was the second deadly crash on Kentucky 715 this weekend. Troopers say around 9:30 last night, 67-year-old Forrest Roberts lost control of his car and hit an embankment. Crews took him to UK hospital. We don't know how he's doing, but we do know that a passenger in his car, 52-year-old Marvin King, died at the scene. Also in Wolfe County tonight, search and rescue crews spent more than 2 hours searching for a hiker in the Red River Gorge. Crews say the hiker was searching for an ark in the Calaboose area. They were able to find him thanks to the Your Location web app. Emergency crews rushed one man to UK hospital this weekend after a crash in Russell County. Deputies say 47-year-old Johnny Coe lost control of his van on Decatur Road last night and hit a tree. Crews had to cut him out of the van. No word on the extent of his injuries. We are getting a closer look at the Rockslide closing part of Interstate 75 near the Kentucky-Tennessee border. Tennessee transportation leaders have hired a contractor to remove the debris and stabilize the slope. They hope to open the southbound lanes by March 17th and to have one northbound lane open by March 24th. The work is expected to be complete April 15th. Crews will start working this week on a walkway over US 60 in Frankfort that'll lead to Kentucky State University. Right now there is a tunnel under the busy road. The new $5.1 million walkway will have an elevator in addition to stairs. Kentucky State University President Raymond Burse says the walkway will increase safety. Students think the fresh look may help recruit students to KSU.
It looks kind of like the future, it shows that we have a big future coming ahead and that there's just more changes coming. And so I think this is the first good step that the school is making.
The Transportation Cabinet expects to complete the walkway by January 2017.